Is GoldenEye coming to Nintendo Switch Online? Let's talk about it. Welcome to 128KB, I'm Andy, and if you're new to the channel, go down there, hit that like and subscribe, and share this video if you think it's going to help someone out, because it really helps us out, it really does. So yeah, where to start? So, okay, let's start with the new news. So this is sort of still in a bit of rumorsville, but it's very likely that this is actually going to happen now. So recently, I think at the end of last week, there was some sort of achievements that started popping up for Xbox, and it was of GoldenEye 007. So there's all these achievements? Okay, Andy. Achievements, and then there's screenshots that started popping up, and these screenshots were actually of the original N64 version rather than like a remake. However, for the Xbox side, that could imply a remake, and it's just kind of showing like the original base version maybe, but that really puts it close to being on Nintendo, because if we look at N64 games, well, as soon as the N64 games were announced that it was coming to the expansion pack, everyone was like, that's great, but we're not going to get any Rare games, because Rare are the company that made like Banjo-Kazooie, for example, as well as GoldenEye, and Microsoft own Rare. So everyone thought, well, that's all the Rare games, which are some of the best N64 games, they're not coming. And then we got news that Banjo-Kazooie is coming, which is coming this month. It's January, it's coming this month. So that kind of put everyone on the, well, nah, we can't imagine seeing GoldenEye. Well, really? Because, you know, it's another Rare game, and I think that Nintendo have done a deal with Microsoft because GoldenEye was on the N64. And I know Microsoft own Rare, but I'm pretty sure there was some sort of tie to Nintendo still for that title, and that's kind of why we haven't seen it pop up in the past. So it's looking really likely that there actually could be a deal being done between Microsoft and Nintendo. And if Xbox are going to be getting it and there's all these leaks of achievements, well then maybe Nintendo Switch Online is going to get it. I don't think it's going to be like a straight, here's a port of the game, go buy it for the Switch. I don't see that happening. I see it being a straight port onto N64, you know, on the expansion pack, the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack, because it just seems way more likely. And it seems easier for them to just go, all right, here's a straight port. Whereas for Xbox side, I can kind of see them doing a bit more for that and maybe charging for it as an individual cost. But for Nintendo, I think they're gonna just take the easy way out and just kind of, there you go, there's the game. Like, there we go. What that does mean is that it's gonna get 4-player online multiplayer. Like, how amazing is that going to be? GoldenEye 007 in 2022, multiplayer online. Like, that will actually make me go online, because I'm just one of these hermits that sits in my cave and plays games by myself, or with Christina, or with AJ and Pete. It really depends, but most of the time I just play stuff single player. But GoldenEye is all about playing co-op. It's all about the multiplayer, and having that online, is going to be absolutely amazing. Now, don't get me wrong, I do have a bit of a concern. And that's because, yes, if Xbox get a nice, shiny, polished new version that maybe lets you flip between like the HD remaster and then like the old school like graphics or something like that, well, like I said, I reckon the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack is just going to get the straight port of the original game. Like, no enhancements, nothing, just there you go. It's on the N64 like service, right? But is it going to be like 10 FPS? Because GoldenEye was like notoriously bad frame rate, especially when you're playing multiplayer and everyone's throwing grenades and whatever. It really started to chug, and we kind of seen that already on like the Quake remaster on Switch. AJ and I played Sonic Adventures 2 on the Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack on the N64, like local co-op, and the frame rate really dipped, like really dipped. We made a whole video just on that. So, you know, it looks to me like they are just getting these games and just straight going, bam, there you go, it's on the service. deal with it, like play it in its original form, which I guess in a way is kind of good for like keeping that nostalgia alive, like as a bit of kind of history. But then is the emulation going to be any good? Because, you know, sometimes, well, let's look at Zelda. People were having issues with that. Personally, I found it okay. Don't shoot me. I didn't notice any input lag or anything like that. But for me, it's more about the frame rate, because I feel like, especially with Sonic, they could have just fixed that, like put some effort into it. To me, it looks like they've just grabbed the game and gone, there you go. Yeah, okay, but it's 2022. The Switch is way more than capable of playing these old games, at least with a steady frame rate. I'd even be happy with 30 FPS. If it was 30 FPS and locked at 30, even when it was at the most hectic, well then great, because, you know, we're not gonna get any dips. Whereas if it's kind of like an unlocked frame rate, but then it's still like the old game where you start getting like 10 FPS and it's really, really, really chuggy, especially with any lag that might be on the online like multiplayer from like the servers or whatever, I don't know if it's going to be any good. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm super hyped for this game, but I really hope they fix it in terms of the frame rate. Just do something with the frame rate. I don't want anything else changed. I don't even want like a HD version, keep it as it is, but I just don't want 10 FPS like at certain points of the game. Is that just me? Are you feeling the same too? Because, you know, that's my only concern. But this isn't confirmed yet, but I really think the next sort of like Nintendo announcement, the next sort of showcase that they do where they announce the next games maybe for N64 at least, I think we're gonna get some news very soon, like within the next few months, about GoldenEye on the Switch. So what's your thoughts about it? Are you super hyped? Are you really excited to get multiplayer on GoldenEye now, like online multiplayer? Or will you be just getting it on Xbox when it comes out there? Like, I don't even have an Xbox. I have a PC, but, you know, I'm a Switch gamer. So there we go. I'm excited for the Switch, and especially because I've got the N64 controller, you know, the one for Nintendo Switch Online expansion pack. We've got videos on that if you want to see that, but I can't wait to play it in its true form. I just want the frame rate to be okay, please. But anyway, let us know what you think down in the comments. Check out our website, 128kv. I'm Andy. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.